This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with an award-winning Eurodance artist from Love Inc. and BKS, Simone Denny, who is responsible for such hits as Into the Night, Here Comes the Sunshine, You're a Superstar, Broken Bones, Astroplane, Living in Ecstasy, Take Control, and many more great songs that I like to work out to. And you're looking as gorgeous as ever. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'll take credit for the vocals of all those songs except for Living in Ecstasy. That is actually not me singing.
Oh, no?
Yeah,
that's a different BKS.
There's BKS, but there's the group that I actually was part of prior, and they were called In Threes, and I left the group at that time, and they did the vocals.
You already have a fan on here from Italy.
Hey!
Your music was really popular there in the 90s and early 2000s, just like it was here.
Amazing.
Looking at your ethnic background, it seems very unique. What is your ethnic background?
Well, I'm born, raised in Canada. My parents are from Guyana, which would technically be South America. Culturally, so geographically South American, culturally West Indian. Okay. Yes.
And did you always want to become a musician, or is this something you kind of fell into?
This is something, I always say music found me. I was in grade school, wanted to do something for the talent show, and I'd already been part of the choir. I'd been doing guitar lessons that my parents had me doing, all those different things. And then the opportunity came to perform for the school, and I jumped in, I auditioned, and I got it. So, and after that, I was an only child at the time. I did a song called You Needed Me by Anne Murray, which is a Canadian artist. And I got a standing ovation. And after that, I was hooked. That was it.
I understand that originally you wanted to be a fashion designer, and you
That's
do
it. Yeah.
design a little bit now, don't you?
Sorry?
You do a little bit of fashion design now, don't you?
I do fashion. I mean, being a musician, it's kind of part of what we do, right? But I still love fashion. It was fashion and visual arts. So either way, I would have been in something creative.
What type of music did you listen to growing up?
A little bit of everything. Being born and raised in Toronto, you're exposed to literally everything. So my dad particularly would play a lot of reggae and soca and soul music, like Motown and different artists like that, classic soul artists. My mom, although she was from Guyana, was living in England for about 10 years of her life, and she was exposed to, of course, all the Beatles and all the British pop music, and so that was played at home. Shirley Bassey, the Beatles, you name it, everything. So I had a healthy mixture of both, and then of course being just a kid here going to school, whatever, AC/DC, Pink Floyd, you name it, I was listening to it. Once it was good and on the charts, I was all about it.
I am a big hair metal fan, and I understand you like the hair metal ballads as well.
Okay, yes. So I mean, that would be like I guess that would be the 80s then.
Yeah,
be all the big hair bands. Yeah. No, that was awesome. I was just having that discussion with someone about how ballads are missing from music right now. You don't really get that, and I'm like, that's the whole thing about men and women, or people, lovers of all backgrounds connecting. That was the thing. So it's missing, definitely, and I love them.
Did you have any favorites back in the 80s?
I liked everything, honestly. I was a kid that listened to whatever was popular. I was listening to, like I said, Eagles, Rick James, you name it. Honestly, it was everything. Once it was good, and it was no holds barred musically for me. So like I said, my school was very multicultural. So whatever everybody was listening to is what I was listening to. Now, so my musical tastes are very eclectic. They're all over the place.
Yes, you do have a lot of different music. I've noticed preparing for this, I listened to some of your other genres and some of your Christmas music and stuff. I was surprised to hear some of that.
Pulling from a lot of different influences there. Yeah.
So at what point did you start taking this seriously as if it's going to be a possible career?
Wow. Well, I think once I had that moment where I really loved uh, the applause. I think that was it for me from then. High school, it was um, basically finding a way to get myself in front of an audience. And so I ended up being the vice president on my student council. So I had to represent the school. I was able to implement things like another talent show. So I got to perform at that. And then I went on to Humber College where I studied music. And from that, I got a major musical that I was able to do. And after that, it was just a lot of session work. And that's what led to BKS and Love Inc. So that was it.
And of course, I was going to ask you how the formation of BKS came about. You guys were around from I think 92 to 96, but were you in it for that whole time?
No. I actually went in on a session. Greg Kavanaugh called me in, and I'd actually done some work for another gentleman called Anthony Vandenberg. And that's what a lot of vocalists used to do, was do a lot of session work. So demoing songs for a lot of writers here. And I did a track with Anthony Vandenberg, and I think he referred me to Greg Kavanaugh, who is the K in BKS. And so when they called me to come in and do the session, I was like, sure. I'd heard of Chris Sheppard. I knew kind of what he did, and I knew the style of music, but I'd never worked with them before. So I went in, and I've said this before, it's a lot of screaming of hold the note here, scream here, or growl here. And I was like, oh, okay. So we had a good time. And the first track was Dreamcatcher, and that actually earned us a Juno nod. So it was great.
I understand you broke your toe in your very first BKS performance. Could you tell us that story?
Well, it wasn't. I did not break my toe during the BKS performance. I broke my toe. I don't even think they knew this. I broke my toe. It was Caravana weekend here. And prior to me going out, I had kicked the phone running across the room. I forgot I had left it as those big heavy rotary phones, and I kicked the phone. And I didn't think it was as bad as I thought until I went to the hospital, and they're like, you broke your toe. I was like, great. But luckily I had these shoes that arched perfectly, which had my foot really comfortable, and I didn't need to tell them anything. I was like, I'm here, let's get this done.
What was it like putting together music videos for the first time? Did you have much say in them? Or
not in the BKS videos? That wasn't me. I would give lots of credit to the director, and of course the group BKS, who would talk to the video director about treatment. That was never my thing. I came in strictly for vocal and performance.
Okay. And was the experience positive? I imagine you started to probably get recognized around that time when those videos started coming out.
My voice definitely was well known. I really loved just to see people dance to it, and the response, because sometimes I'd be places or driving along and I'd hear people playing the music and singing along in their car. And I'm like, those are the things that for me do it. I get really happy and excited when I see people, or if I go to a club and see people dancing to it, it makes me happy. And that's, for me, was signaling, okay, I've tapped into something here.
Did you have a hard time keeping yourself grounded in those days? Because I imagine you'd be pretty young with that success.
No, not at all. I have a very grounded family. They would not, there's no divas in my house. There's no divas in my parents' home. When I'm not about that. I always just feel and even then I felt very lucky to be doing music, and I'm here to entertain people, to make them happy, for them to enjoy it. So for me, honestly, that's it.
There's a fan on here saying, wow, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And as far as the switch from BKS to Love Inc., I know Chris Sheppard was involved in both. How did that process go from jumping bands?
Well, I from what I know, Chris disbanded BKS, and I guess he got an opportunity with Vic BMG, and he came to me and he said, I'm starting a new group, and I would really like you to be the vocalist. Would you think about it or consider the opportunity? And I was like, sure, let's do it. I had no idea really how big it was going to be and how massive, you know, the opportunity was. Really, I just thought, okay, major label, this is going to be a good thing. Let's, you know, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't take off, you know. And I loved it because it put me in a unique place as a Black woman in Canada. There weren't a lot of Black women doing what I was doing, which, or taking those sort of opportunities. And I thought, you know, this, I always like to look for unique opportunities, and this what presented itself. And I was like, let's do it.
Now, the Broken Bones video is kind of out there. What was the experience like filming that? And there's the line, "I've been high most of my life." You don't seem like you've ever done drugs. So I'm guessing you didn't write that.
No, I did not write. Okay. Long story short, it was actually originally written by Corey Bradshaw, who used to produce for BKS, and then, you know, as I said, it disbanded, and then I guess Chris decided to kind of write his own version of it, or try to recreate the magic of that, and he didn't actually have any specific lyrics in order. It was actually Brad Damon and I who sat down and put that song together to make it a song. So we just rearranged all the lyrics, added some lyrics of our own, added the vocal line until it is what you hear it is. It's literally not about anything specific.
And as far as "You're a Superstar," I think that has been your most enduring hit. You still hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Did you know that that one was going to be big?
You know what? I knew it was a great song. As soon as I sang it, I knew it was an awesome song. Had no idea it would have the impact that it has continued to have even 20 years later. You can't forecast something like that. There are thousands of great songs, and not all of them make it to the success or to the level of success that Superstar did. So I'm grateful.
We had the fan earlier saying how popular you were in Italy. I know from being a teenager at that time, you were really popular in Canada. I remember going to the
Yeah.
Much music video dances in high school, seeing your music videos. I know
Yeah.
you're popular in the UK. Is there any
Yes.
country in particular where you say you were loved the most?
I got a lot of love in Canada, like a lot of love for the BKS times. It was crazy. And even during Love Inc. I mean, there were times that we did shows out west that it was like a movie, where I'd be singing on stage and I'd reach over into the crowd and people would try to pull me into the audience or pull my clothes off, and we'd leave and we'd have to run like to the limo. Otherwise there was a crowd running behind us. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. And now when I go to the UK, those songs are anthems, are classics. And what is so special about the UK is when they love you as an artist, they love you. They don't ever let you go. They know it. Their children know it. It will go on for generations to come. And I think that has been probably one of the most beautiful things about the longevity of this song internationally, especially in Europe. It's the fans are unlike any other. I've never seen that kind of energy anywhere else.
I understand at one point you performed in front of over 500,000 fans in Spain. Was that part of a festival or something like that?
That was a festival. I don't even know the name of it. It was 250,000, the crowd. It was insane. It was in Tenerife. What was cool about that moment for me was it was the first time I performed in front of an audience that didn't speak English. And what blew me away, Broken Bones was on the charts there at #1. What blew me away was all I did was start the song, and before I could even finish the first line, they started singing at full volume. And I literally just held the mic out and they took the song from beginning to end. And it was a moment that'll stay with me for the rest of my life. You think that the things you do don't matter as a musician, and to have that moment, because not every musician does have that moment, it was special. It was incredible.
We have a lot of American fans on here that
Oh,
probably.
really?
Oh yeah, even though we're based in Canada, we're only
Amazing.
7% Canadian.
Amazing.
But they might
Hey,
not.
US.
They might not know about Canada's Wonderland, but it's similar to like Disneyland.
Yes.
and you performed there many
Yes.
times. Could you tell us about those performances that were in front of also very big crowds?
Oh, those were awesome. Actually, I think some of them are on YouTube. Incredible shows. Energy through the sky. It was just a sweet moment in Canadian music with Much Music, all the VJs. The nostalgia, I think, is still there today because, as you said earlier, you would go to Much Music video parties, and there's so many people who still come up and say, I was at that Much that the Hot Rush at Wonderland, and I was there, and this and that, and I get all the stories, and it was magic. We don't do that anymore. We don't have those shows anymore, and it's kind of, I kind of miss it. Those were fun, really fun audiences.
Obviously, you had a lot of fans. Could you share with us maybe your most positive fan story as well as possibly your most negative, if there was any obsessed fan or something you had to deal with?
Okay. I've had a lot of great fan experiences. Generally, no matter where I am, once people realize it's me, I get all the stories about, they were going through a divorce, and they were playing Superstar, and it's what got them through, or, they were going to write an exam for whatever, or they're going for a job or whatever, and they played Superstar to keep them motivated, and they got the job, and they literally come and say thank you to me, and I'm like, I didn't do it, you did it. Honestly, it's very humbling when people do that. Like I said, you as a musician, you go about your daily life assuming that sometimes people have forgotten what you do, or forgotten the music, and then you get moments like that where you're like, oh. But I think one of the most touching moments for me, there was two. One was last year, a lovely young lady named Lily, who is in Glasgow, and she's a teenager, and she's going through cancer right now. And I got the chance to have her on stage with me. And that was beautiful to meet her and sing for her and have the audience sing it to her. So that's one. What would be the other one? The other one would be, wow, this was in Niagara Falls. And funny enough, this is before deadmau5 was deadmau5. He was actually the sound and tech guy for that show. A young lady came, I don't know if she saw me or sent a message backstage asking if we could dedicate the song to her boyfriend, who was in the audience, who was a quadriplegic. Yes, quadriplegic. And she said, could you dedicate Superstar, because that is the song that we've been playing while he does his physio to keep, his muscles moving. Could you dedicate it to him tonight? And I was like, sure. But what was cool about it is when I walked out on the stage and I looked down, there he was at the front of the stage. And so we did the whole show. It was great, so much fun. And when we got to Superstar, I literally walked over to him and sang it to him, and the whole crowd helped me sing it to him. And so it's moments like that for me that are honestly the best, truly the best thing, because I feel very blessed to have had the opportunity to sing an anthem. Not every singer gets an anthem, and I've had quite a few under my belt, and those are the moments that go, I'm on the right track. I have a purpose, and I'm here to do what I do.
I hear that they even play You're a Superstar at funerals pretty commonly.
Yes, in the UK they do. I don't know if they do it here, but in Canada, but I know in the US they do, and in the UK they definitely do.
And what about security issues? Have you been lucky and not had anything too bad, or has there been any scary moments?
No, actually, I've never had any. No scary moments ever. Not really. Oh, well, okay. Let me backtrack. I've had one that was a little bit strange. I was at the Eaton Center, which is a big mall down here, and just, I think I was with my family, and all of a sudden I got I think it was Instagram or Facebook message, and it was a picture of my foot, and the guy's like, I'm such a huge fan of yours. I was standing next to you in the mall, and I'm like, the mall. I'm like, oh my God, that was Eaton Center. And I said, well, why didn't you just say hi? He was like, I was too nervous. I was like, just say hi. I said, I don't think I come across scary. I said, just say hi. But he took a picture of my foot because he was standing that close. And I'm like, I don't even remember him getting that close or anybody being that close to me. It was hilarious.
What led to the end of Love Inc? Because it seems like you guys could have gone on for a while longer.
Well, many things led to the end of Love Inc. As a vocalist, it's very important to feel appreciated. And it got to a point where I didn't feel like I was appreciated for many reasons that I won't go into in too much detail, but money wasn't right. I was expected to sign an amendment to a clause that would have basically, what I would say, enslaved me to the group for the rest of my career. And I couldn't do that. So it was just time to move on.
There was a lot of fans that wanted me to ask you what happened to Chris Sheppard because he seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth in recent years.
You know what? I haven't heard from Chris. I don't even know where Chris is. I hear different things that he's living at his cottage. I hear different things he's living in Costa Rica. I don't know. I did not speak to Chris after I left the group. I didn't hear from him till maybe 2002. 2003 when he wanted me to come back to the group because everything had taken off in the UK, and I just was on to another project at that time. So it was just time to keep going in the direction I was going. But I don't know. I hope he's well. I haven't heard from him. I don't know.
Now, you, of course, won a Much Music Video Award and 4 Juno Awards, among others. Did you ever pick up all of your Junos? Because I saw an interview where you were saying you still had 2 to pick up.
I do. I haven't picked the other 2 up. I really haven't. I'm not in this business. It's not just about awards for me. I know they're there. I know the songs that I've done, and I'm cool with that. And, even my mom is like, you really need to go and pick those up. And I'm like, I know. So maybe, you know what? I'll make a point of doing it maybe next year or the year after. And then I'll post them and be like, I got them. So I'll see what I can do. I'm slacking on that.
Yeah, you're not like some of the people that would be having them on display behind you.
Everybody knows the songs did well. I think that's information that can easily be accessed. So, I'm cool with it.
And for the Americans that don't know, the Junos are like the Canadian version of the Grammys.
Yeah.
And Much Music is like MTV.
MTV, yeah.
But it seems like both MTV and Much Music these days are more reality shows than music shows.
Well, I guess everybody can access everything on YouTube now, right? But I don't know. I still think it's really cool to be able to see a VJ talk about the music and maybe give some insight about the music. I still like that. So who knows, what's old may be new again, and they may bring it back, that style of VJing back. That'd be awesome.
Bill Walichka has worked with us here
nice.
in Great North Wrestling in the past. Did you have a favorite VJ? He was one of them back in the day.
He was great. I liked all of them, actually. I know Master T a little bit more than the others, but they were all really nice people, all really cool people. Never had a issue with anyone. I just saw Rick Campanelli in February. No, February. Yeah, January, February. I saw Rick, and he's doing great. So
there's a fan on here asking if you remember Teresa.
Teresa.
I guess she was also a VJ on Much Music. I don't remember.
Teresa.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I'd have to see a picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you're a survivor of cancer. Could
Yes.
you tell us about that?
I am a colon cancer survivor. 10 years now in remission. Knock wood. Well, I'll knock it afterwards, but knock wood, I'm still here. So for me this week,
for you.
Yeah. I found out early stage 2 that I had it. It hit me out of left field. I was like, I have what? I was really lucky that they caught it when they did. They were able to just do a colon resection, and I'm good. I didn't have to do chemo or radiation, thank God. And I'm doing okay. I just really try to keep my health under control, my weight under control. It's a job, it's work, but I'm not perfect at it by any means, but it's a focus. And with Chadwick dying this week of colon cancer. It really shook me, actually. Chadwick Boseman of the Avengers and Black Panther, and it just it hit me pretty hard.
Well, let's hope it stays in.
Oh, it's staying. I'm not going back there.
There you go. That's the right attitude to have.
Yes.
You've recently, I understand, done a collaboration with CeCe Peniston, who did the Finally song back in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You're doing your research. I did actually, the producers of that track, it's called Are You Ready for Love? And I did the background vocals on that for CeCe. The producers are the Boomtang Boys. So I've had a long relationship with them, and they called and they're like, we're doing a track with CeCe. We love your voice. We think it would work really well. And I was like, sure. Because I've been a fan of CeCe for forever. So it was fun. And it was a great track because I literally danced the entire session in the booth. It was wonderful.
There was a fan that wanted me to ask you, what are your thoughts on the whole Milli Vanilli situation of the 90s?
Oh, wow. You know what? There was a lot of that at that time. There was a lot of, we'll use one voice and then we'll put these other guys up front. Biggest for me is what people don't realize is I actually come out of live music. So I have a very deep appreciation for musicians, for singers. I know if that had happened to me, it would have hurt me greatly. I don't know what to tell you. I think they knew, and the producers who had them, had worked out that, we'll have the guys singing and you up front, and they were cool with it. And I mean, it didn't work out for them, but I prefer to see the artist. I'm not there for what you look like. I'm there to hear you sing. And that's what does it for me. When I'm in my car, I'm not looking at you. You know what I mean? I want to hear your voice. And I think people have to really get past the superficial. And there are some beautiful voices, like incredible voices. And they may not all be a size 2. And that's okay. That's okay. We just want great music.
Now, as far as the 90s dance music scene, many people will agree that was the best decade for dance music. What do you think it was about that time where all those dance hits were just turning out?
You know what? It was mainstream. That's why. It was a genre that was finally really taken seriously, and it was sweet. I don't know what to say. All the industry had, what's the word I'm looking for? Rallied to support it. And I think that is the difference between then and now. If you go to the UK and Europe, dance music is mainstream. So the industry rallies around it and supports it. In North America, it's something that comes and goes, unfortunately. So dance will go underground for a bit and then reemerge 5-6 years later, hit hard, and then it's gone again. While, like I said, UK, it's all year long. And that's the big difference. And I miss the days when it was mainstream. It was an incredible time.
Is there anything that the fans might be surprised to know about you that isn't really public? Nothing bad necessarily, but
I don't know. Somebody have to ask a question. I don't know.
You're I'm
pretty normal. There we go. That's the surprising. I'm pretty normal.
There's a fan that wanted to know if you knew who Monster Voodoo Machine is. I guess a group.
Yes. Monster Voodoo Machine is a heavy metal band from Toronto. My manager was part of that group, Damn 13. He started another group called Damn 13, which I actually featured on one of their songs called Scarecrow Kid. And they're Juno. I think Monster Voodoo Machine won a Juno as well. So they're Juno winners too.
Now, you've been in the business several decades. For any young artist that might be watching this, do you have any advice to pass along?
Wow. You mean people just going into the industry, or?
Yeah, or maybe that have been in it for a couple years. Okay. I know it's a little bit easier to break into it now with YouTube and all that.
You know what? I think the biggest advice I've given and will continue to give is, when you're going into music or the arts, know who you are and what you want from the industry. I think it's really important to know what you're about and what you want, because if not, any road will take you anywhere, and you will be taken advantage of. The more things you know about the industry, know about yourself, what your standards are, what your goals are, I think you're more likely to achieve and get the best out of the industry.
How has the lockdown affected you? Obviously, I've heard that you've had gigs canceled. Have you found other stuff to keep busy with to still keep a continuous cash flow going, or has it been?
Well, my whole year is wiped out. So, and that goes for all the other artists as well. As far as I know, even the friends in the US, it's all done. Like in the UK, all my friends over there, same thing. Nobody is working. So it just shows you that you have to save. You really have to save ahead and be very conscious that things like this can happen. Because if you had told me last year this was going to happen, I was like, no way, but I've been doing a lot of session work. I just did a session with Sean Desmond last night, and it was great. We had a good time. And I've got a few recording things that are coming up that I'm doing. So, we're keeping it going.
Are you involved in the film or television industry as well?
I did the theme song. I am the vocalist of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, the original Queer Eye. That was my voice. So, and if you look it up, I think the video is still posted on YouTube. So a lot of people don't realize that. I know there's a newer version of it, but the original, all things just keep getting better, is me.
Very nice rings you have there, by the way.
Sorry?
I like your rings, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So where
packs a punch.
That's exactly what I was thinking for the wrestling side of it, because we mostly do wrestling interviews on this channel, but of course I am a fan of you. Where can people follow you? I know you have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
I'm on Facebook. You'll see, I think it says fan page for original or for former loving vocalist Simone Denny. So that's there. The main one that I'm on is my Instagram. That's Simone Denny Music. And on Twitter, I think I'm Simone Denny. So come in. I think the best one to find me on would probably be Instagram. So if you have an Instagram, come and keep in touch with me there. If not, visit me on Twitter, but Facebook, I check a lot. So Facebook and Instagram.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. It's been an honor to speak with you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Do you mind singing us out with something for about 5 to 10 seconds?
Sure. What do you want?
Well, Broken Bones is actually my favorite song of yours.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, darling, I've been high most of my life. And a dream is just a wish that a heart makes. I used to sigh, only things you could find in a drugstore. People used to tell me just what kind of high they were looking for. Take a ride on a purple airplane. Honey, I don't know when I'll be back again. 'Cause I've got broken bones, not from your sticks or stones, but from the names that you call me. Have you got the picture? Do you know what I mean? I'm the fire, baby. You're the gasoline. You like my characteristics. You like my stones. Call me all the names you say. You can't break my bones.